bestie is supposed to represent sisterhood.
Yeah.
In this community, and you're being a like, I'm gonna just call a spade a spade. If you don't like it, hit me up in the DM. Girl, move over.
Oh, hey, you can sit with us.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Skin Society. We're excited because it's the new year, so we just want to start by saying Happy New Year to you all.
Guys.
And we are so excited about this 10th episode. This is our 10th episode. We're super duper excited because we have our first guest, Francesca, and I'm going to let Maria introduce her and tell you all about how amazing she is.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. Thank you for coming. Seriously.
Thank you guys for having me.
She is coming all the way from Florida, guys.
Yes.
She is originally from Jersey. But my girl has a really, really great story. She started here in Jersey. She moved to Florida, started very small, opened up a spa, had multiple people working under her. And now she's going back to solo. So she has a lot to share with us. And again, we're just super excited that you're here. So I'll let Francesca kind of introduce herself and tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay, well, hi ladies. I get to meet you guys for the first time.
Yes.
I've known Maria for quite a few years now, and we've gotten to become really, really close. But my name is Francesca Ramirez. I'm the owner of Meticulous Street Beauty Studio located in Kissimmee, Florida, St. Cloud, Florida. And my journey, I'm going to try to give the quick version because you know how that is.
Yeah.
But pretty much in 2018, I took my first lash class because I'm primarily a lash artist.
Okay.
I took, a certification class back in the time when they were super popular, when everybody was like, oh, take a lash training and learn how to make 6 figures and get started in the beauty industry, all that. So I went to college. I actually went to Rutgers with Maria as well. So completely different paths. So when I took that class, it was more like, okay, let me try this out. Let's see how it goes. Didn't know anything about the Board of Cosmetology, knew nothing about the beauty industry. The person that I took the training from was very much like, oh, take my class and you can start a business. Like, that's all you need. And me not knowing, like, you don't know what you don't know. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm about to start this business. I'll make money. And at the time, it was very much a side hustle for me.
Okay.
So I started on the journey very quickly after taking that 4-hour training that we're not going to talk about. 4
hours.
4-hour training.
I mean, it's longer than most.
To do lashes, right? So right after I took the training, I learned okay, this is a lot more than I thought it was going to be. And then also I learned, okay, I got to go to beauty school if I want to do this legally. I started to learn all of the realities of what it was going to take to become a lash artist. So I forced myself because at that point you got to either stick with it or give up. And that's where a lot of people tend to kind of, they try it doesn't work out, and then they move on to the next thing.
Right.
I was like, I'm going to make my money back. That was my mindset.
If you don't mind me asking, how much did you pay for the lash scales?
I paid $500.
Oh, wow.
And it was just a little 4-hour. I lashed one eye on my sister was my mom.
One eye.
I lashed one eye, and then I took it off with a remover, and then I was a certified lash artist at that point. It was so I actually didn't touch my kit or do anything with it for at least a month or 2. And then it was like, okay, I need to get my money back because I took this class. I need to put in the work to learn and all that. And so finally I was like, all right, I'm gonna do my models. I'm gonna get started. Ended up falling in love with it. And my husband and I at the time, we were engaged. We were gonna move to Florida. Okay. So I had to make the decision, do I go to beauty school here while I'm living in Jersey, or do I go to school out there in Florida? And I learned that it was gonna be a lot easier for me to get my license in Florida because the aesthetics program down there, they call it a skincare specialist license. 270 hours.
That's it?
Yeah.
How many did you do in Philly?
300.
Yeah.
I remember telling you guys when I became Florida had the very leanest laws.
We're 600 here.
Leanest laws for estheticians back when I went to school. When did you go to school?
2018.
Okay, yeah. So remember I was telling you guys when Florida had the leanest laws back then.
We're moving to Florida.
You can't even do it. They changed a lot of stuff once you got into it.
You can. It's still the same. To my knowledge, it's still the same, but just because it's a fast program, for me as a lash artist, it was perfect because I didn't care about skin. That was not my goal. So then, we get into this whole conversation, licensing is a whole nother conversation, right? But I had to get the paper. I had to get that license from the state to be able to do lashes. So for me, it was like, all right, I'm gonna look for the cheapest program, the quickest program. I don't care what it is. It's just for me to go through the motions to be able to do this legally.
Right.
And so I went to the most ringy little school ever. They barely had equipment. equipment. They barely had supplies. The machines were breaking down. I remember the school, like, they carried Dermalogica. That was the brand of choice. Whenever they would run out of back bar, they would go to Walmart across the street and buy the St. Eye scrub. And they would have us doing services on clients because of beauty school, you could take, like, you know, they would have it was horrible. It was horrible. So for me, I was just putting in the work, getting it done. And then when I got my license, like, I got my first space because I knew that I wanted to go the business owner route. So graduated from beauty school, pursued, you know, my business as a lash artist. And
so at this time in school, you were in your apartment though, right? You were lashing out of your apartment.
Yes, I was lashing from home, very much under the table, home base, like just. And then before I had moved to Florida, it was me lashing friends and family, and just people, because, you know, when you start out like you guys, you start your business in a place where you were born and raised and you grew up, you know everybody, you have people to work on. I had moved to Florida 6 months after becoming a lash artist, and I had to go to a completely new state, like off the rip from the beginning. So for me, it was very much like having to build up a clientele in a new place, move while I'm still learning. So my mindset was, okay, my husband and I were planning to move to Florida 6 months in the future. I was like, I'm going to lash as many people as I can here since I know people here. So that way, at least when I move to Florida, I'll already have skill. I won't go as a beginner. So that's kind of what I did. I was able to market on social media and promote before I even moved. And I actually had like 3 or 4 clients lined up the week that I got there.
Wow.
And it was from my home-based salon. Like, I already knew we had rented a house out in Point Siena in Florida with an extra guest room because that was going to be my lash room. Like, I knew that that's the route that I wanted to be, especially knowing that I had to go to beauty school. So then it was... you know, having that conversation with my husband of, all right, if I want to do this as a career, I'm going to have to go to beauty school. So then it was like, do I get a 9 to 5? Do I go to beauty school? Which do I choose? Thankfully, we had money saved up and I had those clients lined up that he was like, if you want to do this as a career, don't worry about getting a 9 to 5. Service your clients and go to school, because if that's what you need to do to get this, you know, to get it done. Shout out for support. It's always been that way. But I think also too, he saw that I had that hustle. I'm very much like, I'm going to go out and get the clients, like even if it's from home. So, you know, I did that. Beauty school was 6 months for me, 20 weeks, 2 days a week. So it was considered part-time. 2 days a week. And then after that, that was it. After that, I actually found my first studio that I rented. I shared it with a permanent makeup artist. And I found her on Facebook. Like, it was just, you know, room for rent, looking for a room to rent. So the minute I had my license, and here's the thing about me, and this is like a good topic for another episode, like, you know, going from side hustle at home under the table to legalizing your business. Being home-based was always a stepping stone for me. I knew that I didn't want to do that forever because I don't like to work with that fear, right? And that's how you are when you're at home. You're always afraid that someone might report you or that something can happen. You're not eligible for insurance in a lot of cases. Like, and it's kind of different for everybody, but for me personally, it was always a stepping stone. So the minute I graduated and had that license, I was in my first space sharing it because I didn't want that fear anymore. So then I worked with her for a year. And then COVID hit. So COVID hit a year after. I was listening to you guys' episode about how a lot of you guys started in the middle of it. COVID for me was my transition out of sharing with somebody to going into my first space. So my stimulus check that I got went to helping me put my deposit down for my first commercial space. But also too, I had learned that, you know, commercial space at the time, this is back in 2020, they were a lot more affordable than I thought. Because, I mean, I know things are kind of crazy now with the economy and the prices of everything, but I was sharing a room with someone and I was paying $700. My first space.
How big was the room?
It was like 100. It was like 100 square foot. Like, it was small. It was small. So then I found another space that was 200 square foot, probably like the equivalent of the room that we're in right now. And he was renting it. It was a private landlord for $850. So I'm like, for $100 more, I could have my own space. So then that kind of gave me the courage to be able to go out on my own. I had enough clientele and I kind of felt like my space with her was great and it was a good starting point, but I wanted my own room. I wanted my own space. I felt kind of like, exactly. So COVID allowed me that time, that transition right in June of 2020, right? Literally after, like, shortly after
we were starting to come back.
We had closed during the mandatory lockdown. That was when we were like, okay, let's let this space go. She was going to go find another space. I was going to find my own. So the shutdown allowed us to kind of go and branch off on our own and go into our own spaces. So, so fast forward to then, I was there by myself and everything was good. And then you kind of get to that point where you feel like what's next. Okay, right? You feel like that natural, okay, what's next? I've been a solo esthetician now at this point for like 2 or 3 years. And that's when we get to the, hiring and expanding. And my landlord, same building. I'm kind of like in a downtown area, like a big building with a lot of different shops.
Okay.
He had let me know that a space was opening that was 5 times the space.
Oh, wow.
So for 5 times the space and double the price, I could expand and grow. And I felt like in the little 200 square foot room that I was in, it was a little more narrow than this because I couldn't fit 2 beds in there comfortably.
Oh, wow.
So for me, I was kind of thinking in the future, like I wanted to get into lash trainings too. Like I wanted to have more space, and I thought, okay, well, I have this opportunity to go into a bigger space. It's an investment, like a growth. So then I took him up on it, and I moved a few doors down into an 1,100 square foot space.
Oh, wow.
And at that point I knew, and I had the vision because I wanted to have a salon and I wanted to work with other artists. Because personally, I'm very much like, I really do feel like jack of all trades, master of none. I feel very strongly about that. And it's not in a bad way, but I feel like when you do too many different services, you spread yourself a little thin. It's harder to master your craft when you're doing so many things. So I never had that intention. I never wanted that. Instead, I wanted to work with a collective of artists and we all have our specialty. And we could service our clients together. You go to her for brows, you go to me, for lashes, her for waxing, facials, and we can all thrive and do our thing together without me having to be the one to learn all the services. That was a nightmare to even think about. So naturally I go into this space, I could fit 6 beds in there, and everything kind of went up from there. A few months after, I hired my first employee, which was terrifying. It was terrifying, but I knew that was like the next phase that I wanted to go into. So for me, my entire journey as an entrepreneur and esthetician and beauty business owner has been like trial and error. It's always been trial and error. It's been like, okay, this is the task. Hiring people, it was like, all right, I gotta go and learn and research. How do I hire someone? And at this time, I had invested in my second coach, and she specifically helped me be able to go down that path. She has a coaching program, and she basically teaches you how to become like a 6-figure beauty boss, and you could pick the avenue that you want to go down as far as expansion.
So this is your mentor.
This was it was like a 6-week coaching program that I had gone into, but it was kind of nice because it gave me the clarity on the specific thing that I wanted to go on. So I have a friend that did the program. She went down the product line development. So she started a product line. Then you have me that I went down the employee route. You have other people that go down the teaching and education route, and then you also have like the renting, the rental, so you can kind of pick which path you want to go down. So for me at the time, I went down the hiring part, and then I had to, learn all that stuff, learn about interviewing, how to put up a job listing, things to look for in a new hire. And it was pretty much just trial and error from there. I ended up hiring 4 more employees. So at one point I had a team of 5, which was very exciting, but also very stressful, right? Hence, I know Maria kind of told you guys earlier, now I'm going back to solo. And the reason being, I just want simplicity, right? So my path has very much been trying different things, seeing what feels good, but I'm also very comfortable in making changes and okay, I tried it. It wasn't really what I thought it was going to be. I don't like it. I'm going to change it and try something else. And that's kind of the message where I'm at right now. I want to tell people that it's okay for you to think that you want something in business and you realize that you don't like it anymore. And it's okay to change. You're not a failure. You're not and then I feel like sometimes we tend to think too much about what other people are going to think.
All the time.
What is Maria going to think about me if I'm closing my salon? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you have to be true to yourself and realize that it's okay to not, love the path that you're on and just change it.
Because it takes courage. I feel like it takes courage for your story to understand what you did not like and then say I don't like this, or I don't want to do this no longer, and let me reverse and make me happy.
I think it's people's pride. So it's a prideful thing of I do kind of fight those feelings a little bit because it is okay, I got people looking up to me, right? But also it's okay, but let me be the living proof of I tried it. This was my experience. You take from it what you want, right? And even now, this whole thing is new to me of transitioning back to solo, but it's very much sharing my experience and journey without discouraging people, right? Because I genuinely feel like the way that I ran my business and had my salon, it's not the only way to run a salon. There are a lot of different structures that you can have. I had W-2 employees. I have W-2 employees, and the way that I would pay them is I paid them 40% commission on services booked. I provided everything. I wanted the girls to come to the studio, service their clients, and then go home. I didn't want them to be an employee, but then also they're hustling like you know what I mean, like a business owner. Because at that point, then you have employees that it's like, why they're gonna stay if you have them working so hard? Was to keep them from just going off on their own, right? So I wanted it to be a job for them. But then also I wanted them to get paid fairly. So I would pay them 40% commission on services booked. And any time throughout their day that they didn't have, I paid them hourly. Because to me, you know, a lot of places are one or the other. I wanted to just salary plus commission. So it was like a combination. It was kind of like a mix. So like whatever time was booked was commission, and any hours that weren't booked, it was hourly. So it was like a mix of the two. So they were never not getting paid. And I would hear stories from other people that had like horror stories working for places that it's like they might have 3 clients and then sit there for 5 hours and they only made their commission because it was more than what minimum wage was. But I wanted it to be a combination of the two. But yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I still have them now. We're transitioning out. It was everything I feel like fell into place for me because when I decided that I wanted to close down, both of my girls have businesses of their own too. They work for me part-time now. So it wasn't like I was breaking the news to people that like depended on me 100%. And that's really scary too, right? Because when you become a salon owner and you employ people, it's like you have other people's, I don't want to say like
your responsibility, like livelihood in your hand.
Absolutely. And one of my employees, she is a mother of 3 and she was my first, you know, and I kept her booked and busy. And it's because you have that pressure of like, she got kids to feed, you know what I mean? Like she relies on this income. And so there's a lot of like stress that comes with it. I have developed beautiful relationships with my girls, and I tell people, I'm like, I feel like God sent them to me because I pray for them. I'm like, Lord, please like send me people that I can trust that are going to be a pleasure to work with. And it's been a journey, but now I feel like in 2024, I don't know about you guys, but I like to pick words. I don't pick them, but they kind of come to me. So in 2023, my word was intention, right? Intention, doing things very intentionally. That was kind of like what I had in the back of my mind. And for 2024, my word is like reset, restart, like simplicity. Like that's kind of just what I'm trying to get to the root at. So
and she is literally resetting. She forgot a very big. So now she's going from Florida to Texas.
So we went all over. Another factor that did go into it was that my husband took a job. He's a truck driver. He took a really good paying job in Texas. So we're doing the long distancing right now. I gotta be supportive of him, just like he's supporting me. Exactly. So I don't have plans on moving yet, but sometime this year, more towards the end of the year, the studio was holding me to Florida. You know what I mean? Like you have that brick and mortar that is physically tying you to one location. So that also kind of went into it. The cost of rent going up every year. Like I have a landlord that he only does, and this is another learning lesson, you know, every landlord is different, but my landlord only does single year leases.
So
because he can raise, and he's raised my rent 20% 2 years in a row. Holy so in 3 years, like this renewal, it would have doubled in price. So I went into the space paying $1,500. So then he raised it 20%. And it took it up to like $2,000, and then he raised it another 20%. That raised it up to almost like $2,400.
Yeah, is that like a legal thing that they can?
There's no cap. There's no cap for commercial.
Even here in Jersey,
it's unless you have, what is it called, rent?
Like rent control, but they don't have. I don't
not
think
for
commercial.
for commercial.
I was going to say, that's a good point.
But
that was thank my landlord because. You know, he's so chill.
We locked in a 3-year lease.
So my friend Kelsey, she had a space and she actually went back to solo too. Very similar story. But with her, she was locked into a 5-year lease with like a 2% increase. And I'm like, you have a really great landlord. And that was me again, not knowing, right? My landlord is a private landlord. He owns a lot of buildings in town. I live in a very small community, right? So you don't know what you don't know. So, and then for me, it was kind of like, you know, the renewals and the increases every year. It was more like, okay, do I move out and spend all the money that it's going to take to relocate, or do I just eat that 20% increase?
Right.
And when you think numbers, it would like, I was thinking about the numbers and I'm like, all right, it's going to be 200 more a month. I'm like, all right, $2,400 for the year more that I got to pay. It's going to cost me way more than $2,400 to relocate, do a build out, get another space. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, it was easier to stay, but then it gets to a point kind of going back to what I mentioned to you guys, am I going to renew this lease and continue for other people? Or am I going to renew this lease and continue for myself because I want to? And it's
because
just,
also increasing the rent means you got to increase the productivity.
Yeah,
you have more clients come through the door. That means your girls got to work extra harder.
Or even
raise
the
prices. Yeah. Also affects your clientele because they don't understand the back end of what we have to pay as solo or a business.
The overhead.
Yeah, the overhead is very expensive for us. So when you have to make those choices, you have to come down what works best.
Absolutely.
For you in the end. And sometimes it means.
And not to mention, like the overhead is ridiculous having a salon, right?
Oh,
Having a salon with employees is very, very difficult. I actually did it was like a little masterclass reflection for me when we hit our first $20,000 a month. Like that was huge for me. You know, someone who started my business from nothing, struggling to make $2,000. We had hit such a huge milestone at one point. This was last year. In October, we hit $20,000 in revenue I was spending like $19,000.
Yeah.
You know? So those big high cash months don't mean anything when you have just as much money going right out.
Yeah. So
right. So
that's we spend it.
Exactly. So there's a lot of different factors that went into it, but simplicity, resetting, that's kind of like full circle. So I feel like now it's full circle, me going back to being solo. Now I can focus on my clients again. I can focus on just myself, my relationship with them, their experience, and just refining what I have, just me. That's kind of
Let me ask you something. Would you hire like a receptionist or an assistant? No, you still want to just do it all by yourself?
No, I want to do it. I feel like the receptionist and all that, like, it comes out of your pocket. You know what I mean? Like, a receptionist came into play when we had 5 people and we had, like, because it would save time on checkout because the girls could just focus on clients instead of having to take 10 or 15 minutes to pre-book, next appointments and check them out. And it comes into play when you have so much responsibility. But I feel like going back to just me, I could manage. Like, it's very simple.
Especially you're only doing lashes too.
Yeah, that's what
lashes
when you transition. I was going to ask you, when you transition, are you just going to stick to doing lashes? Or are you going to transition to the cheesecake?
I'm going to do...
No, not the cheesecake.
She is adding
skincare.
So I'm adding skincare, and that's how I, obviously I'm friends with Maria, but you guys' podcast has been so great for me because 5 years after becoming an esthetician, I'm now getting into skin. So I am very much the lash artist esthetician that didn't know anything about skin that now I'm getting into it. It was funny because the episode, it was probably like 2-3 episodes ago, you guys were talking about how lash artists leave money on the table by now. And I was like, oh my God.
First of all, I love that you listen.
I know. It's been so great for me though. But then I think of other people who are just starting out, like you guys drop gems.
That's what makes me the most happy because I tell you all the time, when I had this vision of this podcast, the only goal was to inspire and teach other estheticians. And for us to come together collectively and share our gems and share our thoughts, but also provide people with the courage or the opportunity to see, like, you once you leave that classroom, it's an opportunity and it's a world waiting for you to grow. And then you have people like us that, we're just doing the same thing. We just want to get a platform out there. So if you got something from that, please give me
I definitely did. But that is the biggest thing. And I have so many clients that in the intake process, you're like, what is your skincare routine? And they're like, I don't have one. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then you watch the money going through it. And I go into doing lashes and I'm like, cool. But then as an esthetician that does facial, I'm like, that's potential. Like, that's potential. So now I already, it's easier for me because I have the clientele. So now it's just adding on a really beneficial service. I'm going to be able to.
And not just like money-wise, right? Like, as in like adding to your service. But also like retention, like your clients get better retention. They keep coming back more. It's like, I went to this lash artist, and every 2 weeks or whatever, every week my lashes are gone. You have no skincare. Now your lashes are possibly lasting you a full 3 weeks. You know,
Absolutely.
So it all just ties in.
Right. I also want to give you your flowers for going to school because a lot of lash artists won't do it. Why? I don't need to know money's great. They're not worried about being reported.
But that's why I mentioned that it was always a stepping stone for me because I don't like being uncomfortable. And that's a whole nother episode too. The difference when you do transition from home base to legalizing, like the pros and cons. And there's really so many more pros. I feel like the only con is just money. You're not paying taxes.
Right. You're not paying rent.
But that's it.
I pay rent. I pay rent.
But you're
legal.
No, she mean like home base,
like
under the table.
like
under the
table.
table. Not you got a legit business.
Yeah.
Which honestly, like, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like everybody has to start somewhere. And when we say
that's where I started.
Like, when we talk about that, we don't mean it to like throw shade or like bash anyone that's starting from home, but that has to be, like Francesca says, a stepping stone. There has to be something that comes after that. What's your plan? Are you planning to move into a space? Go to school, get started, a license?
I think it comes down to the vision that you have for your business. Because when you're under the table, and I won't even say home based because you can be home based, illegitimate, like under the table job, your vision can only get so big. Right. Because you can't run your business, and that's the way that I like to say it. You can't treat your business like a business. You can't run it the way that you want to. You can't be charging people's card on file. You can't be having, enforcing like your business isn't even legit.
It's not taken seriously.
It's a napkin.
Absolutely, and it's difficult.
It's a napkin.
You write it down on a napkin, like one day I get to it.
So since we're talking about business and money, and you mentioned pricing, there was like, obviously there's like this, and we say it all the time, but there's a little meme trend in saying like, cheap prices attract problematic clients.
I agree.
If you agree, raise your hand.
I think we all can agree. We all started somewhere where, maybe not you though, Krista. I don't think I've ever seen you be like cheap.
No, I just do my work. Like I tell people all the time, even when I was in school, when I saw what other people was like willing to charge $35, $50, I knew off the bat.
Couldn't do that.
I just knew off the bat, no, absolutely not. I'm not like, my prices are going to be the same prices as the Four Seasons, as all these other places. Because guess what? I'm going to take the time to learn. I'm going to take the time to invest into the back bar. I'm going to take the time to take these classes, these flights, whatever I got to do to build myself up to be that type of esthetician. Exactly. I came out the door, feet running. Like, I was never playing it small, playing it safe. I used to even go on Target and knock on shit off the shelf. Remember I used to do like the videos? I would go on Target and swipe everything off the shelf because I knew off the bat, if I'm using the same thing as you, why can't I charge the same thing as you? And I'm gonna be better.
Right.
That was my goal, is to always be better. I knew that from the door. Like, I'm gonna really make a difference and actually be out here fixing skin. They're giving fluff facials. So let's be very clear of why I charge what I charge. I really do the damn thing. Whether I post before and afters or not, and y'all already know why I don't do it. But when I be sending y'all pictures, I be like, look at this client. They be like, I really make a difference in people's skin. Shit that people really can't do when you go to the Four Seasons. You go to the Four Seasons, what do you get?
Fluff. Relaxation.
Head massage.
So why shouldn't I charge? But why?
I think that's what I try to like, and like at least here for me, like that's where I try to like merge the gap, right? Like I feel like you can get the relaxation and the corrective in one, right? And I try as much as possible. With certain treatments, you really can't, because they're gonna be uncomfortable. But as much as possible, I do try to like keep the relaxation part with the corrective. But I agree, like I've been places where you just get a fluff and you're like,
but that's why I tell people my motto, sorry ma'am, is I'm not a facialist. I fix skin. That's my job. I'm not a facial. It's different things. I provide treatments. I'm not a massage therapist. I'm not a facialist. Like, you want fluff? Go to the Four Seasons. I even give you 25% towards your service. You ain't getting that from me. That's when
I'm giving you money.
Here, take it. Just go. When I first started, I didn't start off super duper cheap. I actually feel like I need to raise my prices not for all facials, but like, so I have the routine facial that's like $130, my True Oasis facial, which is like the only spa-like treatment that I do, and people like, I have like 4 older women that book that every 4 months. Like, it's very rare, but that's like $140, and I don't feel like that's cheap. But like when I first, that's a good price. But when I first started with the high temperature, I would do sales, and it attracted those people that only wanted a sale. So they only come when it's a sale, or they want to ask, not even ask 1,000 questions, but they don't. The treatment doesn't just flow. It's always like, well, what are you doing this? Can I get a bunch of samples? It's like, you're not about to take all these samples. They gotta go for other people. Like, why do you think I want to give you 4 samples of the same product to go home with? Then you ain't gonna know about it.
And I can say I have a lot of that's probably one of my flaws. I give out a lot of samples.
Me too, but not multiple the same one.
Like I have some clients that will come in, and every time they'll come in, they'll be like, "Oh, can I get a sample of the?" And like it'll get to a point where I have to be like, I pay for those samples, right? Like, I can't just be giving them. Like I give them to you out of courtosy, but
product.
You already tried it.
I'm like, I don't have a sample, but
it's right there.
It's right there. You can buy it. Like, put it on your website.
When I first started, I feel like I was cheap.
I get on you about that all the time.
And even now, I am.
I get on her about that all the time.
And I did start off pretty cheap. I feel like I wasn't super duper cheap.
You was doing
$90
facials?
It was actually, I started off at $75. But it was because it was in the middle. Remember, this was back in 2020.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Now.
But people was bubbling during COVID.
Yeah, I made a lot.
No, well, I raised my prices after that. But
Okay.
this was, at the time, I was still in school too. Like when I first opened my business, I wasn't done my aesthetics license.
Yeah.
I opened up in February. I didn't finish school until like April.
Yeah.
April-ish, end of May. So I felt like it was okay. But I also went in with that mentality of like, I had classmates who were charging $45, $35. And I was like, oh, hell no. Because at that point, you're not even making money to get your own product. Like, we're not even cutting even, you know? Like, cut even, cool. Take a loss. Not what we want to do.
So I think when I first got out of school, I think my my introduction facial was 120, and then the routine was 100. That was like the lowest side, but that literally lasted.
They be paying for those prices.
Yeah, just like maybe it was like for 60 days, and then I was like, you know what, this ain't gonna work. Like, and then the hydrofacial was so high, and I was pushing the hydrofacial because they tell you that's $200 at a signature. And once I see people was paying that for the hydrofacial, I'm like, okay, it's time to up it, because the reality is I'm using way more back bar on a traditional facial than I am with the hydrofacial.
And you know what's so crazy? And we always had this conversation with each other. I always say, if she's charging that, she's in New York in a metro. I can get why she's charging $600 for a chemical pill. But when we charge it, they act like it's hell over high water. I'm like, listen, I'm using the same exact product as this girl. I can charge you $600 if you want me to, but I know my demographic. I know where I'm at. I know my type of clientele. I'm cutting your ass in some slack. Like meet me halfway, but still you'll get people to say, well, she's doing it for way cheaper.
Then go over there.
Go over there. Because by no all means necessary, you're going to be texting my line, what happened to my face. You're going to be texting my line, where did it go wrong? You're going to be texting my line, she did this, she did that. How can you fix it?
And guess what? It costs more to fix it.
It costs more for me
to fix it. You know what I started to do? Like once we started this whole thing, even like around the time we started to get pro sale, I started to look at your price list and be in the same result. Because Crystal, I'll be like, Crystal, how much you charging for this? And then she'll tell me, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, God Sure. But then I'll look at yours, and yours will be like maybe $50 cheaper. So I'll be like, all right, let me be in the middle.
I charge because I don't charge
people. This is before we even thought about the podcast, but I just didn't want because we're all in the network. So I don't want them to be like, well, why look at me different because I'm charging like way cheaper than you and Maria. So I like for us to all to be like in the same level. And even now with us working together and doing this business together, it's like it's important for us to kind of flow. We should flow because it's like, why is she charging less?
All right, just tell me to raise my prices.
Like I keep saying that, and when you start incorporating your facials, like don't ever lowball. I don't give a damn.
Oh, let me say something, Francesca. I'm a brag a little bit. But
I have my monthly 75.
Oh, shit. I got it. What was you about to say? Because I don't get it.
I was about to brag. And she just like,
no. Lashes.
Right.
But that's your mastery.
Yes.
Lashes are your mastery.
So I'm doing my new client facials at 100, and then the maintenance at 75.
I just crushed my bubble for
I don't know. Because
she do know though.
She do know.
Let me put something in perspective for you. How much is your classic set?
I just changed and I got one price for everything, $230.
For lashes,
$230 for
it don't matter if it's whatever type. Okay, so let me explain something, right?
Come on, man. Come on, take me to church, man.
Listen to me, right? Lashes, I understand that it's an instant gratification because it's lashes, but you are literally changing the health of somebody's skin. You're correcting,
Let me pull up my acuity.
Yeah. No, because like you gotta think about it. Like you're actually treating the skin. Like you, so that's like you waxing somebody's eyebrows. Like it's like okay, it's a temporary fix, and it's something that'll make them feel beautiful.
I feel like for me though, because of the confidence, right? And after being in the industry 5 years and now going back to, I feel like they want a beauty school. Like, you know that skin script class that they have, like the reboot? That like, I feel like that's what I need right now. I'm very much at the beginning. So I don't have a problem with charging my worth, and I'm like the most expensive when it comes to lashes. But skin, I feel like I'm just not knowledgeable and confident enough to have those answers and know. Like, I'm
so
not
I don't want
learning.
you to ever feel like that because it's your time.
Yeah.
Don't ever feel like your time isn't worth the price point. Because the thing is, the one thing about skin script, you can go. Sometimes I even do this. Oh, right in the middle. Let me look up.
I got my training manual.
And then I put it right. And I do it with face reality. I do it with.
That's right.
Sometimes you have to refer back to the textbook because we are walking, treating people.
Yeah.
Every person.
Everybody's different.
Everybody's different. Everybody that walks through that door, you're not going to have the foreplate on the top of your head right then and there. You're going to have to go to the manual.
I'm gonna be honest with you too. If you charge me $230, $250 for
lashes,
my lashes and then only $100 for facial, I'm like, no, I'm gonna smash with the facial. Why she charging so cheap? Something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So your prices reflect your confidence.
I know.
So
maybe just a little bit. Like, you don't have to go super crazy. But
No.
maybe like your initial one, like
Can we do a
145.
combo? Yeah.
What we doing for combo?
Oh, I put my combo what?
like
Facial
lashes,
lash.
lashes.
Oh, like
Yeah.
like
That way it can be $100.
No, $350.
lashes.
Right.
Then you can take cherry, you can take afterpay.
She knew already. She
She
did
did
all
that.
that. And I think that, like, for one, just going off of like everything that you've been through, the years that you have been in business, even though you haven't like
Have the
honed on skin.
more than the knowledge.
I mean, it comes down to the confidence.
That's what I'm saying. No, but I'm
Sure.
saying, like, even though you haven't like specifically like honed in on skin just yet, and you're doing that now, you still are a seasoned esthetician.
Yeah.
You're a business owner. You got bills to pay. So it's like, don't cheat yourself. So even if like, cause I have a soft heart, like sometimes it be teens that come in, I don't even charge them the full price. So it's like, it's okay to like feel like, you know what, I don't feel like I'm not worth, but you know, I don't feel like I shouldn't be charging this much shit.
Yeah.
But guess what? Block off your fucking schedule for a week, study, learn that protocol, and then do it.
Because here's the thing, I tell people all the time, you pay me for my knowledge. You don't pay me for my time. You pay me for what's going on up in here.
Right. They pay me for both.
Yeah, and how I'm getting that skin like this in such a short amount of time. That's what you're paying me for. So don't ever walk through something in this skincare journey thinking like, oh, I should just charge less because I'm not there yet. You are there.
You're there.
You just need to buy the product and get the work.
Yeah. Because it's like, once you start, it's like play ball.
And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We can read as many protocols as we want, as many books as we want, until we there physically see it and touching it and dealing with it.
Yeah. And if you already got to be walk through the door paying $230,
I was about to say,
they gonna pay $350.
Yeah. Do you need a post device? Look at you. Because she got the people that's paying the money. So I ain't never paid $230 for no lashes. You want
No, but that's fine. Yes, and Maria has been my biggest inspiration when it comes to skincare because I've known her the whole journey. And I always think like what I am with lashes, that's how she is with skin. Like she's the skin expert, I'm the lash artist expert, right? So now it's just like starting a whole new, you know, it's scary. It's scary. Like I'm over here figuring out people's skin, like learning how to do analysis, picking my enzymes. Like I'm a baby.
Yeah. So you know what's really safe? Like if you just start with like, not even in a bad way, but like start with very safe enzymes. Treatment, hygiene. So that way you can almost do it. It's safe on anybody, right? But you make the experience amazing. So maybe this way you can incorporate like with some of the stuff Maria do, like massage, because I don't really do none of that. You don't even change your clothes unless you're doing DMK.
But I also tell my clients too, I'm like, when you come to me, I don't do fluffy facials.
Yeah,
like that's also my. I was
like,
I want you to come to me because you have concerns. And like if you go ahead and stone down the street for that to massage your face.
Yeah.
And let me be clear too. Like I do massages and stuff like that, right? But I do have a time, right?
Yeah.
So like for example, my basic facial is an hour. I block out an hour and 15, so I have time to pre-book them and stuff. But like, let's say I feel like you need extractions and I'm gonna spend 20, 30 minutes doing extractions and I gotta skip out on the massage and you know that's what I'm saying. You want to massage, you know. But there are some people that come in and I do so much quickly that it's kind of like, okay, well I do have a little extra time. And then, you know, massage you up a little bit.
And I love that.
But it is nice because they do feel like they're coming here to relax and then they're also fixing their skin at the same time.
Can I tell y'all what was a game changer for me? I got a massage bed. So I got a mat for my bed. So they lay on it and it massages. So they begin like, oh, I feel so refreshing.
Like the bed massage.
Yeah, massage. So it's like a vibration. And it is a heat and pad. So it do both. So they feeling like, ooh. Yeah, I
it.
Okay, so one thing I will tell you guys too is that my studio that I'm in now, the big one, is open. Completely open. So this is not an excuse because it's gonna sound like an excuse for my pricing, but also too, like I'm gonna be transitioning from open floor plan, like doing facials out in the open, no privacy, to transitioning back into an intimate room and an intimate setting.
That's when you raise the price.
And that's when absolutely.
But I can't say that is huge because that was like that for me too. Like in my old space, you remember my old space was one big open,
but it was still private though. I have a storefront with a giant window in the front. Right. So when I'm doing a facial on the side, like
the hair salons where you can see a bunch of beads.
Yes. Yeah. So that's where I'm doing facials out of, right? So it's when I go into the space, then I won't have an issue raising the price more too. But I think it comes down to the knowledge.
And I think too, like as you try to put yourself as like the client walking into the door, right? Like if I am gonna pay $200 for a facial, the place has to reflect that. Or,
let me ask you something. When are you moving to the new space?
The end of January.
Okay, so cool. All right, so look, take this time to practice. Learn your protocols. Reach out to us, whatever you need, and then just even if you practicing on friends and family, just like the enzymes is like the game changer.
I do have the biggest thing that I was afraid of the most was extractions, but now I'm getting more comfortable with that. Okay, that was like that was like the scariest thing too, because I feel like that's what every client wants when they come in. They want extractions.
Everybody wants extractions until you go do them.
Exactly.
No, not for nothing all way, because the one time, I've been a couple times, but the first time I ever got a facial from Krista,
tears.
My sis don't got no mercy, okay? But I'll tell y'all one thing. I had this one thing on my forehead that I swore forever. It was a freaking mole, okay? Forever. She was like, girl, that's a damn blackhead. And I was like, shut up. And she's like, no, it's a blackhead. And she got it out.
Wow.
Hurt like hell, but it was literally right in the, and I swore it was a mole for the longest time ever. That's for the longest time ever. Like, so don't be afraid to hurt people.
And also you can, what was I about to say about the extractions? You gonna get people that be like, huh? No. You can but there's people that be like, oh, it's a blackhead right here. I just can't get it. It's like, don't be afraid to tell them like, hey, that's not what you think. I'm gonna create a scar trying to dig this.
Or you're not ready. Sometimes
it's not ready. Let it marinate. And then put them on exfoliate.
Especially when it's been there for a while.
Yeah, it's not ready. No, like sometimes I be having clients and they be like, you don't see this blackhead right here? And I'm like, I get the Madeline, like, girl, no. She be like, oh, but I can feel something. I be like, no.
That's
and then I'm like, you only exfoliate. Then they so like, oh,
but that's where the education comes in. Like educating them about like
don't feel like you got. And then also when I say, for example, I do it. It's a new acne client. They come in and say they got a whole bunch of like non-inflamed acne, and the appointment is only an hour. I be like, okay, so listen, this first I'm gonna focus on your forehead. Then when you come back, I'm not going to just do the whole facial extraction.
And I mean, you can't, because you'll be there for 4 hours.
So
I'm getting all of it.
No, because I did not have to do the other parts of the treatment. I don't want this to come in for their first acne treatment. I'm only just doing the extractions. Because I want to do everything else. I want to do the peel. I want to start that over. Because then when you exfoliate in the skin, you help make it easier to extract. So I'm seeing them every 2 weeks. So like the one lady that's her forehead, I'm like, we're going to start with your forehead. So I did like 45 minutes on her forehead. Then we had 15 minutes to do that little treatment left. And then the next time she came, we did one side because her whole face.
And I mean, the whole hair helps to soften it up.
What I do is with extractions is my thing. As soon as they lay down, before I put water, I take out the easy ones first. Boo, boo, boo.
The ones that are already out.
Yep, take them out first. Then I wash, I double cleanse, exfoliate, steam. Then I go back and get the more aggressive ones. Then I go back and get the ones that are like embedded inside the skin.
I never thought to do it before I
because you know how like sometimes like if they come with like a whitehead or something, that's the only time I really put gloves on to like cleanse the skin, because sometimes when you do, it does kind of like burst on its own because it's already so
that's what
that makes sense.
So I do that. Then exfoliate. Then go back in and get the more aggressive ones. Then I put on your mask. And sometimes you may not have time for a jelly mask, but you have time for a sheet mask. You have time for LED. But my thing is, because my whole thing is, and I tell people this all the time, I don't want to put product over inflamed skin. I don't want to put product over infected skin. So if you have blackheads or you have acne or you have whiteheads that need to come out, That is my only focus on this facial. Then the problem is with a lot of people, I tell people all the time, you have to have them come back every 2 weeks. If you can't get it out and they have really bad acne and the acne's not clearing up or it keeps coming back, stop putting them on a month basis or a 3-month basis.
They need to be bi-weekly.
Have those clients come back bi-weekly so you can keep targeting the cells that are damaged from the acne follicles, from the buildup sebaceous glands, from the blackheads, from the whiteheads. If you have them come back, that way you clear it faster instead of like letting them go weeks and months
and build up
all over again. Because then you're gonna find out, all right, I let them go a month and there was more shit on their face.
Yeah.
Then I let them go 2 months and then you feel like you're starting this process all over again. Sometimes you gotta be like, listen here, you came to me, this is the problem, you asked me to fix it, you gotta come every 2 weeks. Yeah. Do you wanna come or you don't wanna come?
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, I'll see you back in 2 weeks. And they're like, really 2 weeks? Yeah. And this is the price and I'll see you back in 2 weeks. Because you gotta remember, they came to you. For a reason. You didn't come to them. They came to you. They saw something about you that they liked and they wanted to come and get it done.
Right.
You have to make the clients aware that this is your issue. I'm just here to fix it.
And then that comes at a price.
Yeah.
Because if they were going to a dermatologist, they're billing their
and they don't even touch
a few $100s.
And they don't even touch you. They send you home on what? Cetaphil
and
benzoyl peroxide and tell you see you in 6 months.
Or you have the people that just go to their primary care doctor and get
still no extractions are being performed.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
I told y'all I have my one client. She is like her fits is like at least a 4 or 5, and she came. She's had acne forever now, and when she told me she was on, I literally cringed because I was just like, who put you on that? Like she had 10%. She had a 10% benzoyl peroxide wash, 10% at that. Like no way. She was on clindamycin, tretinoin, and I'm like looking at her like, what in the world? And then it comes down to like representation too, right? Because I literally asked, the minute she told me that, I was like, he gotta be white. Yeah. Like there's no way this is a black doctor giving you all of this stuff to destroy your skin. So I asked her, I'm like, you know, can I ask you a question? She's like, yeah. I'm like, is your doctor black? And she's like, no. And I'm like, well, what is he? And she was like, he's white. And I'm like, of course.
Yeah, destroyed collagen.
Literally, like
pit scarring.
I'm like, your skin was never going to get fixed.
Yeah,
never. Crazy. Like you've been destroying it for years. So you're not gonna come here and in 90 days you're gonna have a brand new skin. Like
no. You gotta build it. You gotta break it down, build it back up, and then watch it break itself down naturally all over again. And then you have to fix the scarring behind what just got broken down.
DMK's motto is remove, rebuild, protect, maintain. I mean, remove, rebuild, protect, maintain.
We talking about almost 18 months for you to fix it?
At least. Like most of my clients with acne who have severe acne, right? Like there's no like, even if I did get them clear enough in those 90 days, there's no like completely clear. You know, like within that year, they've had episodes where they slacked on their routine and they broke out again and they came back, and then like it's not a one. You know, it's not a one thing.
So funny. Somebody asked me the other day, and they was like, "Well, how long did it take you to get your skin together?" I said, "About 2 years."
Yeah.
And they was like, "Well, you know, esthetician, like, why did it take 2 years?" And I was like,
trial and error.
Like
I can't overprocess the skin.
I can't overprocess the skin. I didn't know what I was doing for myself. I knew how to fix other people, but I was thinking I could take what I did to other people and apply it to myself. And that's the biggest mistake I ever made. I wasn't listening to my body. I was eating whatever I wanted to eat, and my body was shutting down on me. And I really feel like we go through a second round of puberty once we hit 30. And I was like, that's why it took me 2 years to fix my skin. But when I fixed it and I figured it out and I got it together, we ain't never looked back, except when I got the VI pill. But I fixed it. And I told you this though. So y'all would have not known I had bad acne 30 days ago.
Yeah. No, that was crazy.
I had really bad acne 30 days, like 30 days before we did our
Christmas one.
Our Christmas one.
Yeah, I would say it was like
from at the end of October.
It was
right before the pill.
Right before the photo shoot.
Right before the photo shoot. During the photo shoot.
Yeah,
I had bad acne. Like
it wasn't acne. You had to break out.
Girl, that shit was all over. I still see I had pimples. Well, now you can't see it because I fixed it. But I had pimples all over my forehead, down the side of my temple, on my chin,
that was crazy.
Nose, everywhere.
Yeah, you did purge a lot.
That's crazy. Yeah, you purged. I ain't purged. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank.
Yeah,
but I needed to.
Yeah, you needed to. They would have came up eventually.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But I'm happy that you're here.
Me too.
And I wanted to bring something up, and I don't want to be the one to always bring up the stuff, because I feel like that one episode I was like jumping black girl sunscreen.
I know,
we was all jumping black girl sunscreen.
But did y'all see that thing that's trending With that esthetician, the Esty Bestie stuff?
Yes.
I know y'all seen it.
Yes.
We talked about it. We talked about it. But did y'all
chat.
see it? Yeah. Did you see it?
I
How do you feel about it?
I don't want to go first, y'all.
Okay, so I feel like I personally think she was very smart. I think that most of the hate comments that she's getting is more like
she's mean.
I agree. I think that she could have gone about it differently.
She's got a little arrogant too.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately everyone's just upset because she actually did trademark what she did and patent what she did, and so it's opening up this big can of worms for people to kind of.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm not mad that she did it because I don't use that term.
Right,
I don't call nobody my.
And we're not making money though.
I'm like, she's my friend, she's my sister. That's
but
like,
even the thing is, I'm sorry, Chris, you gonna finish your thought?
But my thing is with her is how you're going about it.
Yeah,
that's the part that makes it worse because you're trying to say Esty Bestie is supposed to represent sisterhood.
Yeah. In
this community, and you're being a bitch. Like I'm gonna just call a spade a spade. If you don't like it, hit me up in the DM. But you're just being a bitch and like
you know how you girls like to tussle.
But you're bullying people, and I don't like that. Like you're bullying people, and I feel like you're going against what you said the term was meant for.
Yeah. So I feel like, all right, you got a trademark. But first of all, I feel like the term Esty Bestie has been out for forever. You capitalize off a situation that
kudos to her.
Yeah, kudos to you. I'm not mad at you for doing that because it's all right. Nobody's using this. I'm gonna, like she said, the Twitter was available. I mean, the TikTok, the Instagram, all of the names was available because nobody was using it. It was a term everybody was just saying.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like, okay, you want to make this your business name, and this now was your business name. You want to trademark it. I'm not mad at that. Like y'all said, I'm mad about the way she's going about it. She's actually, from what it looks like and from what people, because a lot of people send it to me in a DM.
Yeah.
So it looks like she's actually sending people cease and desist letters and stuff like that from using the term. And I understand if somebody's making money off of it.
But you're allowed to say the term, correct?
Yeah, you're allowed to say, but they're trying to make money. I guess maybe somebody got an actual apparel or something like that.
Like the branding, like
well, that girl you have sent the
Yeah, but I don't see you walking around with an Esty Bestie.
I know, but just because we not wearing it, she probably's making sales. So I understand it from a business point of view. I get it, but from like a community standpoint, it's just like you went about it the wrong way. I just feel like, well, maybe she really didn't because she put it out there and said, "Hey, this is trademark."
She gave a warning.
She gave a warning, and I get that, but I think it's the way that she's dealing with the backlash from it instead of just. I don't know. It's a very
because she's not posting anything positive. Everything's negative.
Like, not only is she coming at others, she's coming at companies as well.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing, then she went and trademarked the ice globes.
Oh yeah, no, she got a patent.
She got a patent. She got a patent on the ice globe. I'm like, wait, I think She said it's been in process for 3 years, but I feel like the ice globe's been out. I've never seen one with a little glitter in it.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I think that like she was just
the glitter,
the glitter in the inside of
glitter. Something else.
But the thing is, guess what? So she got that made where? In China. Yes, because I seen her boxes at the shipment. She said the stuff is in, and guess what? It was the same China logo that comes through from my jars. So I get it, but it's like, you think they're not selling it to nobody else? Did you, like, maybe did she?
No, I think she did know that, and that's why she went ahead and patented it.
Right.
You know, like,
now she has the leg to stand on.
Yeah.
Now she has that patent that's able to shut people down.
Yeah.
She has the legal.
Yeah. So I'm proud of her for that, right? Because it's like, dang, when I first seen it, I'm like, wait, she globes. Everybody they got them at Target, everywhere. I don't see them with the glitter. So maybe if hers is just the glitter, then that's fine.
What do you do? Nobody buys it.
I got mine off of Shein.
Right.
Like, got glitter in it.
You got glitter in the ones I give away for Christmas.
Yes.
And I got them off of Shein.
But the flip side of this is nobody buys them. Okay, you have the ones with the glitter in it. Now we're not going to buy them. That's the flip side to it.
I don't know. I just was reading up on it because Maria had told me about it, so I was doing some research on it, and I really do feel like she is for money. It's because she is making it seem like she's gonna go back and get her checks from all those companies that were selling her product without. I think she was trying to say like. She was trying to inform the public that she had this patent pending. Basically, like, hey, this is my product. Like, I'm letting y'all know you can't sell it. And they're like, okay, well, who are you? Right? And they continue. So I think now it's about her going to get money. And I was telling Maria a little bit earlier, it's like when celebrities do the same thing. When celebrities trademark and not patent, because that's more so like inventions on things and stuff, but when they go trademark their phrases and their names and all that stuff because they don't want anyone else profiting off of what's theirs.
But do y'all think she invented the one with the glitter? Is what I'm trying to ask y'all.
I don't know if she invented it,
but I feel like in order for you to have that patent, you have to show receipts that you're the one
that
that invented.
Yeah, she said that she has her money.
She also works for a law firm, so.
No, but she said that she has her drawings, right? So where she probably designed it, but it's like, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
But I don't think they would issue when it comes to trademarks and patents.
Yeah,
you have to apply and they have to review your application. Yeah, they're not going to give it to you unless they've done their. You know, they're not going to give it to her. If
so
she
basically, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ain't it like the patents different between like the U.S. and other countries? Like
I think she has to file in every
country.
Every country.
So technically, if you buy it from China, you're not breaking her patent.
No,
right?
Because China's a different country than the U.S.
That's crazy.
But then you can't resell it here.
No, but nobody planning to resell it. We just not buying it from
but I see where that comes into play because then let's say you buy it from China and now you're retailing it on your website to your clients and stuff like that. That's where she's trying to get money.
Has glitter in it, so just don't buy the ones that don't have glitter in it.
Like, no glitter, color, right?
This is like anything floating in the inside of it.
I think I had unfollowed what she wrote. Did y'all see that she lost a bunch of followers?
I blocked her. I don't know.
I unfollowed her because I didn't. Yeah, only because, for example, I don't even know how I started following her. Probably seeing her stuff on Explore or whatever.
But there's a thing when. Sorry, not to cut you off. When you sent Esty Bessie, I was like, not that old light skinned blue eyed girl. I was like, that's not her. Yeah. She's so sweet. And when you said, I was like, oh, she looks like the bride of Chucky. Like,
yeah. So I unfollowed her only because she was posting so much of the
but it's
reaction.
like the negative. When
you
post
but that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like it was like so negative and like it got to a point where it was like I can understand what you're doing and I can respect it from a business standpoint, right? Like this is mine, no one's gonna profit off of my idea.
Right.
But when you're so focused on the negativity that comes with it and now you're like asking publicly for these like company CEOs to come you know, and apologize to you when they can't really control the reps. Yeah. It wasn't like the CEO hopped in your DM and said,
well, she would have. He would. Listen, but I was like, she wanted the right tree. She better leave his ass alone. He is okay. He is crazy. The shits. He is with the shits. Do not play with that.
And then when I started seeing that, it was, and I mean, she did kind of mention it too. Like, she was like, oh, no, I'm only posting negative. I am getting also like an influx of like positivity. But you're not posting that. Yeah. Because to me, it's more like you're also using it for clout.
That's how I felt. And I'm like, I don't want to be a part of the shit show. The gimmick, I don't want to be a part of none of that. So I unfollowed her because all I was seeing the negativity. And I found myself reading the comments and it's taking up my time. I don't really interact on social media that way. So like, I don't like to get consumed with the bullshit.
And then just blasting other estheticians. Yeah. Like, you can't be a girl's girl and then just blasting other estheticians.
And I get it that it's coming for you so you clap back. But at the same time,
she went about it the wrong way. Like, I just feel like that. Like,
I didn't want to do it.
Like, she should have known that it was coming anyway. Yeah. Like, when you did this, you knew what it was going to do. So you should have just sat back and let it, just let it rock out.
Yeah, and silence is golden sometimes. She should have just been quiet.
I just wouldn't have responded. If I knew my words,
I would have let them run my engagement up. Yeah. Without me responding and then capitalize off of that. But what she should have did was did it on TikTok because TikTok paying the money.
But here's the thing. The thing is that if she filed that patent and that trademark, legally she has to go after everybody.
No, but she don't gotta
not the way that she does.
I'm talking about she don't gotta post it on like a bunch of negative comments. So actually, first of all, like I don't know, it's petty. So go through their team, email them, go through like why are you?
She can do it quiet, but she's but I was looking at her page and she doesn't have a shop right now, so she's probably like getting things ready to open or to launch.
Well, I'm gonna just turn my back on that comment because Krista went down the rabbit hole and Krista found some things out.
Wait, No, Krista, tell us.
Because I knew that she did not start that Esty Bestie thing. Like I told you, before I became an esthetician, I followed the other girl, the white girl with the blonde hair and blue eyes. And I was like, that's not the same girl.
But I told her though, and I told her that in this type of situation, like I'm not an expert. This is just because since I trademarked my business name, like I kind of did some research. That other one can sue her and they can kind of fight for the name and the courts could grant her permission to use that if she has proof and receipts that she's been using it first.
You don't have proof receipts. I got the proof receipts because I went back through my photos when I was like screenshotting her memes of her having that name. I was like, I know she didn't have that name first. A whole nother girl had that name first.
Sent it to us.
And I sent it to you. I was like, and then I went down her rabbit hole to see when she started using the name. So you took somebody else's, like, I get it, Facebook. They had an idea, I had a better one. I get that. But don't walk around this platform like you're the inventor of the term SC Bestie.
Yeah, that's why I said the term been around before her.
You did not create
and she just
term.
was like, nobody says something, I'm snatching it. Like,
I get it. Like, you had an idea and you capitalized off it.
She's gonna pull up the
pen. I'm gonna try to keep talking.
But she didn't come out with. She didn't start using that term until what? When did that send to you? 2020?
I think it was 2019. No,
Yeah.
2020.
that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like I said, like I feel like that.
Yeah,
her,
and it ain't really affected. It was affecting me when I saw her comments and all the negativity and people sending it to me. I was like, I don't really care about this shit, but. It's not affecting me to the point that I give a shit. Because guess what? Y'all my SD besties.
She didn't start using it until August 19, 2020 when she rebranded herself.
So what I'm saying is it doesn't affect me to not... We never planned on getting SD bestie put on merch.
I would never get nothing written in SD bestie. I would never even call nobody my SD bestie because what it signifies is disrespect. What it signifies is putting down other women and making women feel like they're not valuable enough to be in a space that you claim you created. That's why you're saying I'm the first esthetician. So now nobody else can sit with me. I would never use that term because you're disrespectful as fuck.
You really feel that way? Like you feel?
I don't think it was disrespectful.
Did you read the comments?
You talking about her in particular? I thought you meant the team.
Because what she said, hold on, let's go back.
I missed that.
What she said her thing stood for when she opened her business, we are a new brand that actually is including everyone. Those comments that she was posting was not including everyone. She was mad. Disrespectful. She was mad. Like
I think that she got.
You can't say everyone with major. Well, I can't. I guess I can't say this. I don't know her name.
I'll tell you her name. I'm not gonna say her name on here, but I'll tell you her name.
No, but like her name. Oh, her name.
I looked at her page, and it's like you can't be inclusive of everyone when everyone looks like you.
And then it says, "Let's learn together, grow together, and support one another."
Yeah, no,
that is her ending. That is the ending of her spill.
I feel like she went out bad when she started writing bad, because the term
reputation.
Yeah, she's destroying. She's tarnishing her reputation because the term SD bestie, I feel like to me is like you said, it could be a community. Like that's why, like in school, we was calling each other SD bestie. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like that. Yeah, I feel like it was cool. Like. But this the way she's going about it. She's shining a different light on it now. It's making people look at it like, yeah. So I feel like she did it to herself. But she, one of my SD one of my esthetician friends wrote. We met her, the one that we met in New York. She wrote it, and then she wrote me, and I was like, damn, that's crazy because it's like it's giving me your energy. She told me that. I'm talking about Prestige. She told me that she's noticed that she's lost 300 followers, like in less than a day.
Yeah.
That's all of the estheticians that don't want to be a part of the shit show. Yeah. People love drama, so it's a lot of people that's probably going to follow her for drama.
And I would never want to blow up off of that. No. Like, I never want to be a known esthetician off of like some drama that like pop off. Like that would never be what you want to be known for. Like
I think that she didn't do anything in conclusion, right? I think that she didn't do anything wrong by trademarking it because like, you just saw opportunity.
Absolutely.
You took advantage.
Like I said, like, you smart.
You smart.
I just don't like
she didn't do anything wrong by getting her globes patent. Even though they sell them at Ross. Like you know what I'm saying? She didn't do anything wrong by doing that. But I will say just if you are watching this or if you happen to come across this clip, just try to work on self-control a little bit and like the way you respond to people. Don't let people trick you out your spot. Yeah, because if you're a business owner, you have these patents and these trademarks, you are a representation of your business. So if I saw you getting smart people in the comments and just being like, you don't see the owner of Louis Vuitton clapping back at Gucci. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You don't see, well, sometimes Chick-fil-A and them be going at it on Twitter.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, don't let nobody trick you out your spot because you only in my opinion, you're tarnishing your reputation. Mm-hmm. I feel like just, if you did what you did, stand on it. You got your trademarks, you got your patents, stand on it. If you're gonna send people cease and desist letters and all that, do that, but everything don't gotta be publicized.
Sometimes silence is golden.
Yeah, silence is golden. And just carry it that way because I feel like you kind of like roughing people the wrong way, the way you're going about it. And I understand you feel like you're fighting for your life, but at the same time, you don't got to show that to everybody.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see anybody posting their DMs. She was posting everybody else's DMs.
Yeah, because I'm, you know me, I'm big on respect. Like, if you disrespect me, it's like off with your head. I'm very big on how people address me, how people talk to me, like, because I give people the same thing back. I do get that she's trying to fight for her position and fight for her stance. Yeah. But at the same time, you can't fight for a stance and saying, oh, off with all your heads, but at the same time, but promote my brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Promote my brand.
Come by from the one and only patent.
Yeah. Come sit with the Esty Bestie girl, but you sit up there calling people out their name and disrespecting people's whole.
For being a mean girl, but you being a mean girl.
She knows about their name?
Yeah, girl.
Oh no, I
saw. She called the people biosynthetic.
Yep.
She came for the whole.
I know, but the girl called her a weirdo. I didn't see her call her name.
She said she thought she was a weirdo for trademarking something that people have been using for years.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
I mean,
which I don't think she meant it like, well, maybe she did because you did take the time out to DM her.
Yeah.
I would have never personally
I
DM her. I would have said out loud, like, oh, you're a weirdo for that. But I would have never took the time out to message her.
But I was telling you earlier, that's like the company that trademarked the term Taco Tuesday.
Oh, right.
Like something that's so. Did you guys see the commercial?
I never saw that.
There was a Taco Bell commercial, and I don't remember if it was Shaq or somebody else in it. But the commercial was about we're trying to do a petition to fight and win back the term Taco Tuesday because there's a company that owns it. Something that's so like
normal. Everybody
uses it.
But are they online cussing out Taco Bell?
No.
All right, then.
I
don't care.
Okay.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care if you own it. I don't care. But the thing is, it's respect. Respect is due to everyone on this platform.
Absolutely.
You cannot be on a platform where we all come together and collectively share our ideas, share our work, share our visions, and be out here just being mean girl.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It goes against what we believe.
It does. So,
but nonetheless,
we're not mean girls.
You can sit with us.
You can sit with us.
Definitely sit with us.
We can be your Esty friends or whatever. This is a safe place.
Yeah.
It's a safe, it's a safe place, and you know, like, we just have to, whatever we believe on, we gotta stand on that and just keep it rolling. There's gonna be other people that are gonna come out and trademark stuff and patent things, and there is gonna be drama. But we sure as hell won't be a part of that.
No, we don't want to. This is the most we're gonna say on this topic. I brought it up because it's all over.
It's relevant.
It's relevant.
To our industry right now.
And we're recording live here at Malo Aesthetic Studio. So, I just wanted to bring it up just to give you guys a little razzle dazzle
of what we've been talking about.
Yeah, what's been going on since we haven't seen you guys. So
we have so much to talk about. But we're so grateful that you came.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can come back.
Yeah.
Because we have so much more to talk about.
Yes.
But we'll put all of Francesca's handles on our
screen.
She's your mentor. She's a mentor. She's a web designer.
She has a podcast.
So we want to try.
She has a podcast too.
Oh my gosh. Francesca has a podcast.
I'm very much in like the building phase, and I want to.
So are we, girl. We got 40 subscribers. No, we got 54. 54 subscribers.
300 followers.
Yeah. But I'm saying, that's still building. Because when you want to look up, we're going to have 300,000. But I'm just saying.
And she talks all things like business, lashes.
So aside from like the service aspect, I did start educating, and I did go down the route, the route of like lash trainings. I didn't like it. My jam is business,
right?
Because as you guys know, there is a big disconnect in the beauty industry when it comes from like being a service provider and actually being a business owner.
Yeah, right.
So that's really like my passion and where I like to help people. So I do. I offer mentorship. I do have some online classes, and just being able to help other people learn how to like run successful lash businesses or beauty businesses in general.
I love that.
And then web design.
Yeah.
So in there too.
So little sprinkle.
She do my website too.
She do my website.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Hopefully next time we have something juicy to talk about too. I feel like we're pretty good with it.
Yeah. If you have anything, leave us some comments, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and drop some stuff in the comments. Let us know what y'all want to hear us talk about. Yeah. And I hope you guys are all mentally prepared going into this new year. That's another thing.
Going into 2024 with a good
going
vision.
Strong. Have a vision.
The reset.
Yeah. The reset. It's all about the reset. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye.